You mentioned Hendrix and you mentioned Led Zeppelin. Are they some of your influences?
Absolutely. My whole life changed when I heard, um, you know, Hendrix's like All You Experienced album was just like, oh my God, and got a stereo and this thing's going left and right, and his guitar playing was just so emotional, and the sonics of it were just so creative, and that's why you still hear them today on commercials and things, and it's crazy because that's 66, 67. That's really crazy,
Right,
Think
right.
about it. Zeppelin, of course, you know that they really, no matter what the critics thought of them, I knew from the second I heard them, so did Paul Stanley. We used to compare notes like we got this concert, because even though we grew up near each other, we didn't know each other until later. Gene even went to the same high school that I went to a few years earlier, so um, it's just really, growing up at that time is just really, I think it's wonderful that I got a chance to experience that whole British invasion. And that music's still with us. There's a reason why it's valid, and that there are teenagers today that are hip to Led Zeppelin and understand that Hendrix was like one of those kind of Mozarts of guitar.
So you're touring with Grand Funk coming up. Are you going to tour for this album, for BK3?
Well, Grandpa picks up about a third of my year, and I usually, when I've done a lot of stuff with just my name on the marquee, be it a clinic or an actual gig with a band, it's usually been out of the country. Now, I've done some jamming at KISS Expos across America because that's really cool to combine, entertain them at a KISS Expo because of the connection, and all the family. Um, Touring in America is not really that easy, so I don't really know what I will do. I will try to get out there, of course, in support of the record. Um, but it may be easier for me to do it internationally than here in the States.
I actually shot you at the Casey Cares Foundation.
Everyone should understand that Casey Cares is a wonderful charity, and I've been fortunate enough to, it's my second time that I was invited to be a part of the show, which raises a lot of money for the kids that are ill, that need help. And the leader of the show is Mark Rivera, the famous sax player, Billy Joel and Foreigner and others. And I sit in and play whatever I can, and maybe we'll do a Kiss song, and even if we don't, I don't care. I'm happy to play with all those talented people up there. But those kind of things I really like doing, by the way. But you have no idea how difficult it is sometimes to get a band out there, is what I'm trying to say. So
Right, right.
I'll do the best I can, I promise, but I don't know.
Moving on to BK3. What's your favorite song on the album?
Oh, that's like asking someone who has like 10 kids, who's your favorite kid, you know what I mean? I love them all. I can tell you the most personal song that I feel really came out well, and it's very hard for a musician when they hear something in their head to make it a reality it's weird transferring it from your head to, the recording medium. It doesn't matter how you're doing it, if it's Pro Tools or tape even. But the point is, I have to admit that I'll Survive was very important to me because it talked about the time I had this crazy thing happen, which I did survive, fortunately, in a very, very fortunate way, not to use the word again, but the point is I could have been killed or crippled that day, and I walked out of there with just something that healed like within a month, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I remember sitting around in my bedroom while I was recuperating in that October of 2003, and I'm like strumming these chords, and all of a sudden I'm saying, I'll survive. So it was kind of like a self-help, cry for, wanting to just, I think creative people will express themselves that way, when they have trauma or relationship issues or whatever. So I was using my music and my lyrics to explain what I was feeling like.
Well,
So,
I know that not everyone knows that story, what you're talking about in I'll Survive. I've heard the story. I know not everybody knows it. But because you recorded a song about that incident, was it an emotional process?
hard to sing. I mean, I felt I was really poetic about how I made the words, you know, because I got my point across without being, you know, conversational about it. You know what I mean? The whole smoking gun nearly took me away. You know, it's just basically saying like, someone was shooting the gun, I nearly died. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, but I was blessed that day, you know, because if the two bullets were just an inch over, one would have killed me by hitting me in the head, or crippled me, or made me blind. The other one would have shattered my knee. You know what I mean? Instead, it went right through my fleshy part of my leg, which is what I understood later. People say, "Oh, that's good." You know what I mean? "Oh, it's good. I just took a bullet through my leg."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it is good. It went right through the fleshy part and didn't do any bad damage, and it was able to heal like in a month, which is unbelievable. So I was very, very lucky, and it was hard to sing the lyrics. It really was, you know. But I feel like as part of that, finishing that song, I had a lot of closure, you know. And on the same hand, the first song on the record, it was very important for me to come out real strong and like, here I am, I'm in your face, I mean business, and that was the one called Fate, and I'm basically having some wordplay, you know, fun with, you know, rapid fire lyrics going by with some Kiss titles in them, you know, and just, shall I say, a little bit tongue in cheek, and yet the chorus is, you know, I'm not going to be ignored, and I'm not in anyone's shadow, which are powerful ways of saying, you know, you know, hear me roar.
Right.
Whatever that was that a play or something? I don't know.
I like that. You sound like me.
Yeah, okay, there